Do not have a hair I already said that one. Okay. What was this episode about? Oh yeah. Propecia! Side effects. When using this product, if changes in behavior with nausea and vomiting occur, consult a doctor because these symptoms could be an early sign of Reye's syndrome. What? Symptoms may include skin reddening, blisters, rashes. If a skin reaction occurs, stop use or seek medical help right away. Hives, facial swelling, asthma, severe liver damage may occur. Stomach bleeding warning. These are real side effects, people. I shot that clip last night. I'm feeling a bit sick, a little under the weather, but all those side effects that I just read off to you come with pain reliever. Let's take this outside. So the reality is that when you're dealing with the prospect, the chance that you're going to be getting a hair transplant, you can't look at just, what kind of a result are you going to get from the surgery? Because you need to look at the longer term issue here. This was kind of what I was touching on in my previous video where I said, do not have a hair transplant. The whole point of that video was just to kind of impart upon you the very fact that hair transplant surgery doesn't always work out for the best. Sometimes it can really suck. So when you're considering the surgery, you have to look at the long term and the short term. The short term is what kind of result I'm going to get. And the problem with the short term is it's still long term because it takes several months, even a year, to get the final result. So you don't really know once the surgery is done exactly how it's going to turn out. The doctor doesn't even know. A lot of aircraft today. The long term is, assuming best case scenario that you do get a great result, what's the rest of your hair going to be doing? Is it going to stay where it is? Does a hair transplant prevent more hair loss? Absolutely not. A hair transplant is only replacing the hair that's already fallen out. It does absolutely nothing for the hair that you still have. So if you're guaranteed to lose more hair after surgery, which you are, how do you mitigate that chance? God, it's cold out here. It's a way bad chilly. So, with that in mind, we have to discuss the only options, and they are only a few options, of how you can stop or slow down the loss, because that's what you need to do for a successful long-term result. My own case is a perfect example of why medication is so important. I was 22 years old, I had 2 hair transplant surgeries, and there was nothing on the market that could stop me from losing more hair. Okay, there was Rogaine, which came out, I think in the late 80s, I think 86, 87, I don't remember exactly when, but that was something that was never discussed with me, which was unethical of the doctor, just to be sure about that. There was a very damn good chance that had I been on the medication when I was 22 years old, I wouldn't have continued to lose more hair. The hair transplanted hair wouldn't have been sticking up like a pluggy disaster Ken doll, and I wouldn't have become a Norwood 6 plus with like all this loss and like a huge crown, standing here in front of you after 9 hair transplants. It's called prevention. A hair transplant isn't going to prevent you from losing more hair. I think I said that already. Let's talk about the options. First off, you have minoxidil. Now that came out a long time ago. It's off patent and everyone can make their own version of it. You can get it at Costco or these, massive stores where you can get it for just pennies. Long story short, it can work, it can help, but it's not that effective for a lot of people. It's inconvenient twice a day. Yeah, it's kind of a mess. But little known fact is that this medication, minoxidil, comes from another medication called Lonitin, which was a blood pressure medication. That's why when you look on the side effects listed for minoxidil, you've got heart palpitations, rapid heartbeat, all these things that affect your heart, which that scares the hell out of me, actually. That's why I never took it. But then you have Propecia, and that's the real meat of this video post, or this class, is you need to learn and understand more about Propecia. I never started taking Propecia because I heard that, you know, once I stop, the hair goes away. That's why it's called a treatment. If your hair stayed after you stopped taking it, then it would be a cure. Big difference. Now, disclaimer, this is based on my experience working 15 years as of now in the industry, being a patient 20 some odd years, and speaking to literally tens of thousands of patients through this time. Now, that's aside, Propecia is not as dangerous as people online will have you believe.
Search every ravine, every crevice, but the fiend must be found.
Why? Because of all the people I've talked to, of all the people that doctors I've worked for have prescribed the medication to over these many, many years, very few of them have come back with actual side effects. In reality, the percentage of people that have side effects, of all these other people have the medication, it's a very small percentage that have had the side effects. Now, if we take the number of people that have had side effects, this small percentage, which is blown up for scale, anyway, it's a much smaller percentage of that small percentage that have lasting side effects after they take the medication or after they stop taking the medication. That's a very important point to understand. Now, I'm not going to get into statistics and all these different studies that most of them aren't even actual studies to really get deep into this. The point of this is that you need to think for yourself, because when you go online and you start researching Propecia, you're going to hear all kinds of horror stories. But the problem is that you're going to be hearing these horror stories from people that have read about these horror stories, not the people themselves, occasionally themselves. But most of the stuff that you hear is repeated sound bites or hearsay or people repeating what they've heard from others that heard it from others, and just a vicious cycle. The problem with this is that it's preventing people that could really benefit from this medication from even trying the medication. So this is to all the people out there that are spreading the rumors, just stop. I can't count how many people have contacted me and told me that Propecia has literally saved their life, that they were depressed because of their hair loss, because their lives were just in such a going in such a negative direction because of hair loss, and Propecia stopped it, in a lot of cases actually reversed their hair loss. Admittedly, that is a small percentage as well, but you get the point. The vast majority of people that do take this medication don't have issues. They do have benefits from the medication, and it is very helpful. So if you're spreading the rumors or repeating the sound bites that you read from other people doing the same thing, shame on you for preventing other people from potentially enjoying benefits. If a doctor says straight up, don't take this medication, they're coming from a position of either ignorance or greed. Because if it's from ignorance, it's because they've been hearing the same things as well, and they don't want their patients to risk it. I get it, but it's not their job to tell them not to. It's their job to give the option and explain the pros and cons. If they're telling you because of greed, it's because they want you to come back for more surgery because they know that you're going to lose more hair and come back to them for more surgery. So in summary, when you're looking at investigating hair loss and hair medication and hair transplant surgery and all these options, don't take your eye off of the fact that this is a long game you're playing. It's not a short game. So consider the medication. I'm not saying take the medication, I'm just saying consider the medication. Without the medication, it's a guaranteed second or third hair transplant, maybe even more. I've had 9. If you do take the medication and you have side effects, they could go away with continued use. Talk to your doctor, blah, 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 all the disclaimers. I'm not a doctor. But if you don't take the medication because you're afraid of what you've heard, that is your choice, that is your prerogative, but you're missing out on a potential treatment, that can slow or stop your loss, saving you lots of money down the road, tens of thousands of dollars, and lots of heartache because no one likes to lose their hair. So that's the end of this hair transplant class. Another one's coming up soon. Stay tuned, subscribe down below. Don't be afraid to comment, share your opinion, have at it, have fun. I'm out of here, peace.